Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video, and everybody is in my stream all the time asking, what am I going to main? What should I play? I can't decide. It's driving me insane. So the purpose of today's video is to talk about what it is that I'm going to be doing at the beginning of the expansion of Midnight, my plans, why I think that it's important to do it in the order that I'm going to be doing it in, why it might not be good for you to copy it, and maybe talk about what would actually be good for you as far as your decision making process. So the first thing that you should take into account with Midnight and its release, and the fact that it's got a pre-release. So if you're buying the pre-release, I believe it's on February 26th, which is like 10 days or less now. But in the pre-release, basically all you're going to be able to do is level and get some very surface level equipment for any content it is that you want to do. Really, that time should be about leveling any possible alts that you want to make a commitment to. You should also note that class changes can come in even after the game is out. They're probably most likely to, because that's when, the Race to World First players are going to start trying to abuse whatever classes they can get an advantage on. Competitors in dungeons and PvP are going to try and abuse things. So usually there's a lot of volatility at the beginning. So I would recommend for that initial 2-week period that you just focus on leveling characters and enjoying the zones. I'm going to be leveling with War Mode on. The first specializations that I'm going to be leveling are going to be focused at World PvP, because this is going to be the best time to do it. This might be, the only time to do it with any sort of significance, where everybody's coming through the gate at the same time. And if you get the pre-release, you got the benefit of that when everybody else gets into the game, you can go camp them at max level and do a bunch of 1v10 stuff like that. Or if you're not toxic, you can defend the lobies on the opposing side. But basically, the faction war is at its highest in-game right at the beginning. So my priority is World PvP, 1v2s, trying to grab some cool-looking clips. So because of that, some of the specializations that I'm going to be leveling first in that leveling phase is, well, the first one that's on the screen, Subtlety Rogue. This specialization is just notoriously good at World PvP. It's got a very infamous reputation. It's very easy to play now, more easy than it's ever been. It's basically a 2-button rotation. I'm just pressing backstab and then eviscerate, or if I'm dancing, I'm pressing shadow strike and then eviscerate, and then cheap shotting people to stun them outside of that. So it feels like it can be played with 3 buttons basically, and it's really strong. So I think in World PvP, it's going to set up some really funny scenarios for myself. So it's going to be one of the first characters that I level. The second character that I'm going to be leveling in this phase is the Devourer Demon Hunter. Devourer Demon Hunter has a lot of flashy plays within its kit. It can backflip. It can send in massive burst damage. It's very well animated. It's got strong 1v1 into everything except Subtlety Rogue. But pretty much into everything else, Devourer Demon Hunter is a great time to play. And I think especially in solo content, whether you're doing solo shuffle or battleground blitz at end game, it's really good. I have a bit of concerns for it in dungeons. I think when it comes to PvE, I do want to start getting my feet more wet, but I'm going to be focusing on the tank role when it comes to that. So I'll probably keep my Devourer just for dueling, just for World PvP, maybe some shuffle and stuff like that if I really end up falling significantly in love with it. But there's so many other specializations that I might not. So these are kind of my preliminary specializations that I'm going to be going in through the door on. Now, as it stands right now, Moonkin has been very fun, but I've been telling myself, like, I don't really want to main it anymore. I feel like the solo shuffle bracket for that specialization only having 3 spots for rank 1 gets really toxic. I was going to play something else that has more slots available to it, but I actually like how it's playing right now. And if somehow, some way, the Starfall build that I've been playing actually manages to get through and be even somewhat decent, I've been missing playing Starfall. So I'm probably going to level a Boomkin third. The other thing is that they've been buffing hybrid healing a lot, which is increasing the World PvP possibilities and 1v1 possibilities for a lot of those specializations that previously would have suffered or had a hard time. So Boomkin is actually climbing as far as 1v1 in World PvP. So I'm going to level it there just in case. Obviously, it's got my big investment. It'll be there ready to go so that I can log into it whenever I want, basically. And I'm thinking about leveling a second druid to play Guardian for Mythic Plus. I think that if I'm going to do Mythic Plus, being a tank is probably going to be the best option. I am also considering that Delves have a new, I think it's top 1,000 kills of the Mystery boss, and you get a unique title. I'm thinking tank is probably going to be the best role in order to get in there and do that. Mostly because you can gear up really fast as a tank and get into groups really fast, so you get the item level needed to get in there. And usually that type of content is tuned down for tanks. Like usually you know, ignoring maybe the Mage Tower challenge for Guardian Druid, that thing was omega hard. But from at least from history, right? Past results, they're not indicative of future results, but from what I've seen, tanks are generally a little bit easier to do these types of mechanic demanding solo challenges. So I think it'll be the fastest gearing route. And the most likely to be easy to actually knock out on top of having more gear from being a tank. So that's my strategy there. I do want to get in on a character, get it ready, try and go for this delve challenge because I actually enjoy the challenging PvE content. I just don't really like LFG and forming a group. So the fact that they're implementing this competitive mode for solo PvE does have me intrigued. So I think I'm going to get a Guardian Druid, get that up and running, try and go for that delve reward. So if that's something that you think that you'd be interested in going after, right, you're going to get that unique title, very highly coveted and valuable onto the account before it's gone. You've got to be like ready to commit to that because otherwise other people are going to slip in there and that title is going to be, I think, gobbled up rather quickly. But that is something that I want to consider. So I'm going to have fun with some world PvP, but I'm also going to be focusing in on this Guardian Druid, getting it geared up, getting it ready to go for that delve challenge. And then after I'm done delves, because I'm probably going to be geared up, I'll try out some Mythic Plus, try the shoes on, see if I like how they fit, see if it's a good roll, see how PvP is going at the same time. Probably going to focus in at that point on Boomkin. And then the final character that I'm going to be focusing on at the beginning is going to be a healer. So what I recommend is that if you don't have a lot of time to play and you want to play any content in the game, but particularly for me, PvP, being a healer is just the best. You will always be able to get a group very quickly. I feel like healer has a lot of control of the outcome of matches as well if you're trying to go for the gladiator title, as far as if you can be communicative and coordinate cooldowns with your team. That is invaluable. It's one of the best things to guarantee yourself success, at least in 3v3. Obviously shuffle blitz a little harder to do that type of coordination, but for me right now, Holy Paladin has been a lot of fun. Now it's getting some nerfs. I'm not sure if the build is live yet on the beta or not. I'll be getting on my stream later today to find out if they've completely destroyed Weapons of Order Paladin or not, because Weapons of Order Paladin has been what I've been playing, and I know that they've targeted Judgment on it pretty heavily, but I've still been really liking it. And Resto Druid's honestly been lagging behind. I've also been liking Resto Druid, so I was thinking about it, but don't want to level 3 Druids. I don't know about that, because to gear up for PvE and PvP, I think I'm going to need 2 characters, so I'll do the 1 Druid for Boomkin, 1 Druid for Guardian, and then I'm thinking about doing this Holy Paladin, and then having my Devourer and my Sub Rogue as like my World PvP Battleground specs. I think they'll be going to be really fun in like Battleground Blitz, a lot of carry potential, a lot of flashy plays, a lot of maneuverability in that front, and I've basically got everything covered at that point for what I want to accomplish in the game. I got a character to go after the Delve title on the Guardian Druid and possibly get my foot in the door for Mythic Plus. That's had a lot of significant improvements. I have my 1v1 duelers, my flashy Battleground specs with Subtlety Rogue and Devourer Demon Hunter. I've got my Boomkin as kind of just like my main go-to, and then if I really don't like it, then I can maybe opt out of it. But honestly, opting out to Devourer or Subtlety Rogue, I'm not sure how many title spots they're going to have. Obviously, that's an issue for me playing at the top end. If you're someone who's just trying to get 1800 for the first time, those specs still could be a good option for you. Honestly, they've been simplified a lot. I feel like this is just the best time to get into the game, no matter what you're doing, except maybe if you're an Affliction Lock or an Arms Warrior. Arms Warrior a little rough. Affliction in PvE is fine, but in PvP, it's looking a little bit shaky. They've been given some love to enhancement. I think this most recent patch note update that they did has been the best one they've done so far. So if this continues, over the next couple of weeks, then you're probably not even gonna have to worry about picking a spec that ends up being bad, or you're like, oh, I made a mistake and it's not what I want. So you could ultimately just focus in on what is fun, right? Like what's fun for you. And depending on what content you want to do, if you don't want to do group competitive PvE, right, and you just want to do solo queue PvP or world PvP, just pick what's fun to you, bro. Just because that's going to get you the most out of it. If you end up quitting down the road, you're going to be happy that at least you picked what was fun. And with the way that the balance tuning has been going, the UI has been improving as well week to week. I think that you're likely to have a good time. I don't want to guarantee it because who knows? We could have the Ret Paladin Apocalypse patch for all we know. But that's my plan as it is right now. I know, shocking. Moonkin main, but there's a bunch of other things in there that I thought were important to talk about as far as my decision making for selecting a main, is that you really want to pick what your goal is. What is your goal? What content is it that you want to do? How competitive do you want to be in that content? Or are you just kind of like fooling around trying to collect things? It's very important that you zone in as far as making your own selection, and I'll continue making tier lists, updating videos here as well for which specializations are most suited for whatever given content it is that you want to do. But for myself, this is kind of what I've cherry picked out so far as to be the most interesting and can accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish in the early stages of Midnight. But of course, as always, I'm eventually going to be leveling everything and playing everything, because I do play everything. But at the beginning, things might be slower before they add in the catch-ups mechanics and things like that, like they do with an expansion. It might be slower. So I want to allocate my time and strategize it in a way that's going to be most effective for myself. So thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate you guys tuning in over all these years and all the support over these years. We're getting very close to 70,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you'd like to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with news related to World of Warcraft and help me out on my goal of getting to 100,000 subscribers, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much once again, and I will see you in the next one.